In the world of waterfowl breeding, the debate over which bird dominates the barnyard usually comes down to two undisputed giants. On one hand, we have the Pekin, a machine of accelerated growth and relentless feed conversion, bred over decades to maximize your profitability in record time. On the other hand, we have the Rouen, a heritage masterpiece that trades commercial speed for unmatched gourmet quality, elite pest control, and a striking presence on any free-range pasture. Choosing between the dizzying pace of the white heavyweights and the productive elegance of the traditional ducks isn't just a simple matter of personal taste. It's a major strategic decision that will completely define the workflow, feed costs, and ultimate target market of any seasoned producer, focused on sustainable profitability and the efficient self-sufficiency of their daily operations. Your farming success depends entirely on understanding this crucial biological difference perfectly right now across your farm. You simply cannot afford to make a costly mistake when selecting the genetic foundation of your future premium poultry meat production on the homestead this very upcoming season. Let's begin. To truly understand the impact these two distinct breeds can have on your homestead, we must first look at the sharp contrast in their physical development and maturation profiles. Imagine having the operational capacity to take an entire flock from the brooder directly to the processor in just 7 weeks, achieving an almost immediate return on investment that facilitates constant cash flow. That is the absolute domain of the Pekin, a bird biologically structured to assimilate every ounce of formulated feed and transform it into massive pectoral muscle with astonishing speed. On the opposite end of the spectrum, the Rouen demands patience. They take months, not mere weeks, to reach their physical peak, but they reward that wait with a carcass of far superior flavor, texture, and visual appeal. This dark meat profile is absolute perfection for niche markets, chefs, and refined palates who value intense, rich flavor over rapid volume. This fundamental dichotomy between unbridled commercial speed and rested artisanal quality is the essential starting point for evaluating which genetics best suit your current poultry project's financial goals perfectly right now. You simply cannot miss these specific biological markers. Diving right into the physiology of our first contender, the Pekin duck represents the absolute pinnacle of genetic engineering applied to massive meat poultry. These solid white heavyweights possess an extraordinary metabolic capacity that allows them to hit a butcher weight of roughly 6.5 to 7 pounds in just 7 or 8 weeks. That's a monumental achievement for any seasoned producer managing a tight schedule. Adult males can easily push past 9 pounds if allowed to continue their development, but their maximum profitability window lies strictly in that initial explosive growth phase. Their feed conversion ratio is remarkably efficient. They require a very precise volume of commercial rations to pack on dense muscle mass incredibly fast. This metabolic efficiency means you invest less money in prolonged feeding cycles and obtain a highly standardized final product in an exceptionally short time frame. Basically, their biology is hardwired to transform nutrients into sellable meat with the lowest possible energetic friction. This guarantees robust and highly predictable profit margins across the board for your entire farming operation every single season without fail. This predictability allows you to scale your business confidently, knowing exactly when your final product will be ready. Moving beyond their impressive ability to generate muscle mass in heavily reduced time frames, the Pekin duck also boasts reproductive traits that position it as an exceptionally versatile breed for maintaining constant commercial farm viability. These birds reach sexual maturity quite early, generally starting their laying cycle between 5 and 6 months of age. This rapidly accelerates the process of securing your next generation. A well-managed maternal base can easily produce between 150 to 200 premium-grade eggs annually. This guarantees a continuous supply of fresh genetic material or an excellent secondary income stream through direct sales of eggs for daily household consumption. However, this high laying rate comes with an obvious biological cost that every experienced farmer must factor into their reproductive management strategy. The maternal instinct has been practically eliminated through generations of selective breeding. Because of this, these females rarely show any natural inclination to incubate their own nests. This makes the use of precise artificial incubators an absolute requirement to maintain a truly active and successful flock rotation moving forward without facing any major delays. Setting up a dedicated hatching room becomes your primary tool to guarantee a sustainable and highly profitable poultry business over time. Shifting our focus to daily handling and behavior in a productive environment, the Pekin stands out for having a surprisingly docile and gregarious temperament around routine caretakers. This calm nature greatly facilitates feeding, egg collection, and periodic physical evaluations without sparking collective stress episodes that could negatively impact the entire flock's nutritional performance. Due to their imposing body structure and considerable accumulated weight, they are heavy birds that physiologically lack the ability to fly. This drastically simplifies the design of your perimeter fencing and significantly reduces costs associated with confinement infrastructure on the homestead. However, their solid white plumage and unhurried waddle turn them into highly visible, vulnerable targets for aerial and terrestrial predators if kept in completely open, free-range setups. For this very reason, even though they are excellent foragers that can supplement their diet quite well with fresh pasture, they require facilities offering secure shelters during nighttime hours. You must provide strategic supervision during their daytime outings to guarantee maximum welfare and overall commercial profitability throughout the entire process to keep them perfectly safe. A simple but robust nighttime shelter will prevent devastating losses and keep your financial projections completely intact throughout the rearing cycle. Now let's turn our technical gaze toward the second major protagonist of this comparative evaluation, the heritage Rouen Duck, an absolute genetic jewel originating from traditional French poultry farming. At first glance, this breed dazzles with a plumage pattern that faithfully mimics the wild mallard, granting it exceptional natural camouflage that proves incredibly useful in extensive free-range production systems. However, hiding behind this wild appearance is a bird of formidable dimensions, genetically structured to develop a wide bone framework and a substantial amount of lean meat. The radical difference compared to its white competitor lies precisely in the speed of tissue assimilation and development. A Rouen specimen isn't built to hit a butcher weight of 6 to 8 pounds in mere weeks. Instead, it requires a slow, calculated rearing cycle that can extend anywhere from 5 to 8 full months. This prolonged growth phase isn't a flaw in the breed, but rather the exact biological mechanism allowing it to deposit deep, rich intramuscular fat layers. This naturally generates a meat of unsurpassed gourmet value that high-end consumers gladly pay top dollar for every single season. You are literally farming patience to deliver an absolutely premium culinary experience that mass-produced white birds simply cannot match on any level. When evaluating their reproductive capabilities, we notice that the Rouen Duck's biological focus isn't geared toward the massive, constant laying characterizing modern productive lines. Females reach sexual maturity much later in their development and usually provide a moderate yield ranging between 60 and 100 eggs annually. They prefer concentrating their vital energy on maintaining their massive body mass instead of daily laying. Unlike hyperproductive modern birds, some females carrying these heritage genetics still retain valuable basic maternal instincts. They show a clear inclination toward incubating and directly caring for their ducklings, if provided with a quiet, secure environment on the homestead. Beyond their incomparable final carcass quality, the Rouen shines exceptionally bright as a relentless forager and biological control agent. Their heavy, elegant gait across the garden or pastures doesn't damage cultivated plants, while they dedicate hours to consuming massive quantities of snails, slugs, and other harmful insects. They are exceptionally calm-tempered birds that integrate wonderfully into polyculture systems. They provide constant soil fertility and actively reduce the parasite load of your daily productive environment without needing much intervention. Integrating them correctly into your broader farm ecosystem means they practically pay for their own feed by eliminating costly pests from your valuable crops seamlessly over the season. Entering fully into the structural comparison of both breeds, the most striking difference lies in life cycle financial planning and how this directly affects your daily profitability. With the Pekin Duck, your business model demands an aggressive strategy where operational speed is the absolute key to success. By reaching optimal marketing weight in just 8 weeks, the producer must master the art of constant flock rotation. Understanding the necessity of managing your flock replacement strategy correctly is fundamental to guaranteeing the project's long-term viability. You simply cannot afford production gaps. Every single batch heading to the processor must be substituted by new ducklings moving directly into the brooder. Conversely, the Rouen model requires ironclad patience and a carefully designed cash flow supporting months of feeding without any immediate financial returns. While the Pekin devours formulated feed looking for explosive muscular gain, the Rouen integrates natural forage and prolonged time to develop its dense bone structure. It is the classic confrontation between accelerated volume sustaining large commercial markets and the artisanal niche seeking superior quality through a respectful, traditional biological rhythm across the homestead. When you finally get these birds on the processing table, the differences become incredibly clear. Pekin duck meat is globally recognized for a reason. It features a supremely tender texture, a mild flavor, and a thick layer of subcutaneous fat that is absolutely perfect for crispy, high-heat cooking. It's a versatile canvas that easily satisfies the everyday consumer and standard restaurants alike. However, when we process a mature Rouen duck at butcher weight, we uncover a completely different gastronomic proposition that easily justifies every extra day of its prolonged rearing cycle. Their meat boasts a significantly darker coloration, closely approaching the visual and gustatory profile of wild red game meats. It delivers a spectacular depth of flavor forged through months of continuous physical activity across expansive pastures. The Rouen's fat distributes itself much more evenly between the muscle fibers instead of concentrating solely under the skin. This unique trait offers a remarkably juicy and complex culinary experience that high-end chefs seek tirelessly, always willing to pay higher profit margins to secure this premium product for their very exclusive tasting menus. When it comes to housing and confinement, each breed dictates your initial setup costs. Because of their hyperactive metabolism and massive daily water intake, Pekins generate a massive amount of moisture and manure in their resting areas. This reality forces you to maintain a strict deep bedding routine and efficient drainage. If you don't, pathogen proliferation could quickly wipe out your flock's profitability. They require solid, exceptionally well-ventilated shelters, as their absolute inability to flee agilely makes them incredibly easy targets for predators looking for a quick meal. Conversely, the Rouens' rustic heritage genetics granted an admirable climatic resistance against more severe environmental conditions on the homestead. Their incredibly dense plumage and robust physical constitution allow them to thrive using much simpler, open-air shelters, provided they remain adequately protected from nocturnal predators. The Rouen does not saturate its resting spaces with the same devastating intensity as its white counterpart. They strongly prefer spending the majority of their daylight hours actively exploring the perimeters in a constant search for natural nutritional supplements. This inherent hardiness translates to significantly lower daily maintenance demands. This exact same inclination toward active foraging turns the Rouen duck into an incredibly valuable biological tool for comprehensive pest management across diversified farms and family orchards. Unlike standard chickens, which quickly destroy delicate seedbeds and voraciously scratch up vital root systems with their sharp claws, the Rouen's flat-footed gait completely respects crop integrity while their bills scan the topsoil with surgical precision. They act as tireless, highly efficient patrols that eradicate entire populations of snails, slugs, destructive beetles, and grubs without ever demanding payment in expensive bags of commercial rations. The Pekin duck, although theoretically capable of performing these exact same agricultural tasks, entirely lacks the deeply ingrained instinct and sustained physical energy required to wander too far away from their automated feeders. Their heavy bodily structure turns them quite sluggish under the midday sun. They strongly prefer napping near the farm pond or waterer rather than embarking on long, demanding exploration walks across the pasture. For the producer focused on homestead self-sufficiency, the Rouen acts as a silent employee protecting the daily harvest effortlessly without causing damage. Within the reproductive sphere and the crucial sustainability of your own farm's genetics, the balance tips drastically depending on the breeder's specific expansion goals. If your ultimate target includes marketing premium duck eggs secondarily or guaranteeing an unceasing avalanche of artificial hatches, the Pekin proves to be an absolutely unstoppable biological machine. They confidently extend their laying cycles throughout a massive portion of the year while maintaining an exceptionally high fertility rate. However, this staggering productivity comes paired with an almost total absence of any natural incubation capabilities. This forces the seasoned producer to invest heavily in temperature-controlled equipment and dedicate countless hours to meticulously monitoring fragile embryos in the incubation room. The Rouen offers a much more conservative and highly seasonal reproductive approach, predictably marking its laying peaks in perfect harmony with the arrival of warmer weather and longer daylight hours. Although their annual egg volume cannot mathematically compete with the white giant, the practical viability of raising small batches naturally is unmatched. Utilizing a maternal base that retains strong brooding instinct represents a truly invaluable logistical advantage today. Defining your ultimate commercial strategy is the definitive factor that will determine the triumphant success or total financial collapse of your chosen poultry operation. Betting heavily on the Pekin duck means forcefully entering the demanding game of massive volume and aggressive flock rotation. Individual profit margins might remain relatively low, but they are overwhelmingly compensated by processing an incredibly high quantity of heavy birds every single month. It represents the perfect pathway for consistently supplying local grocery markets, neighborhood butcher shops, and wholesale buyers demanding a standardized, highly economical product with uninterrupted availability. When choosing the Rouen duck, the producer must fully understand they are stepping into the exclusive, demanding sector of premium products and high perceived value direct sales. Here, you are not simply selling basic poultry meat. You are actively marketing a compelling story of slow rearing, superior animal welfare, and truly incomparable gastronomic quality. The financial success of the Rouen breed does not depend at all on how many animals you can process weekly. It relies entirely on your ability to educate that specific elite client who perfectly understands. Ultimately, the technical decision between these two avian marvels must be founded upon a rigorous analysis. You must evaluate your operational capacities and long-term vision. There is absolutely no universally superior breed, but rather a specific genetic profile perfectly adapted to a highly specific business model. The Pekin demands constant working capital to cover its colossal daily feed consumption. It also requires unbreakable operational discipline regarding processing dates. Strict timing prevents the heavy bird from exceeding its target weight and consuming its own profit margin. On its side, the majestic Rouen demands extensive territorial space and financial patience to endure long economic cycles. It also requires a genuine passion for traditional quality to withstand the relentless pressures of modern markets. The correct choice will resonate deeply with the exact farming lifestyle the breeder truly wishes to lead. You must choose between two distinct paths. One offers the constant adrenaline of a high-production facility with rapid income streams. The other provides the peaceful tranquility of an integrated system where animals mature at a respectful biological pace on the homestead. The choice between raising Pekin or Rouen definitively determines the entire operational and commercial path of your homestead. The white giant absolutely dominates rapid production, transforming commercial rations into tender meat and steady profits at an astonishing speed, ideal for supplying local markets and maintaining a fast, reliable cash flow season after season. Conversely, the rustic French heritage breed shines in extensive free-range pasture systems, delivering dark gourmet meat and unmatched biological pest control. This makes it a perfect fit for high-end chefs and self-sufficient farmers who truly value natural biological cycles and superior culinary quality. Before introducing either of these genetics into your pastures permanently, you must thoroughly evaluate your facilities, market access, and personal farming philosophy. Now, I really want to hear directly from you right now. Are you Team Pekin for that fast, predictable turnaround, or Team Rouen for the high-value artisanal long game? Let me know in the comments below, and if you found this breakdown valuable, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button today. To your success, fellow breeder. Until next time.